Next we'll see the development. Placenta is start to develop from trabectoderm, which is outer layer of pre-implantation embryo. So before implantations, it's formed in the trabectoderm, that in the during time of embryo. The next stage of implantations means after implantations, outer layer of blastocyst. In that blastocyst part one, it will be developed in that placenta, form trabectoderm, and it consists of two layers, that cytotropoblast and syncytotropoblast. And the cytotropoblast is the inner layer. We saw already. Cytotropoblast is the inner layer and forms the feature surface of the placenta. So, fetal surface of a placenta is formed from the cytotropoblast, and that since cytotropoblast, it's the outer layer forms the maternal surface of placenta. Cytotropoblast is formed from the fetal surface of the placenta. Since cytotropoblast is an outer layer, it's a form the maternal surface of the placenta. And this is that placenta development. It is the placental start to develop, form the residual parts after complete the implantations on 11th day of the fertilization. Start that 11th day of the fertilization with combined function of chorion, frandosum and residua basalis. We saw already in the chorion frandosum, it is a that is a pre-implantations, that is blastocyst in that where it is developed in the finger-like projection, no? That is the chorionic frandosum. The residua basalis, where the embryo is attached, that part of residua, we can say the residua basalis. Chorion frandosum and residua basalis, both it will be combined to form as a placenta. And this following stretches changes occurs during the placental developments. And first is tropoblast. Tropoblast already we saw that. And tropoblast form as a trabeculae, and trabeculates form as a stem villi. Stem villi already I told that is a primary villi, secondary villi and tertiary villi form as a stem villi. In this villi, it will be formed become the chorionic villi. It has a form. It is one part of the placenta. This is all primary, secondary and tertiary villi. It is formed as a one part of placenta. It's a complete placenta. It's a one part of placenta. And next, lacunar space. The space will be there and where it is joined in the placenta, no? And that residual part, that is a lacunar space. In that lacunar space, there is a residual part. Lacunar space form a multilobe lined by the syncytium, and it is go for that intravillous space of the chorionic villi. Then it's form as a placenta. And next, uterus. If you are seeing that uterus side, residua capsularis gets started to thinning from 6th week of gestation weeks. The residua capsularis gets started in thinning of the 6th week of gestation weeks. That will be formed as a placenta one part and embryo one part. So this and that residual capsular means residual basalic part, and chronic villi part and intervilli space. This all will be formed as a placenta. After that, let's artery and venous blood supply occur in the part of villus. So in the placenta, let's take up artery and venous blood supply and leads to the connect with that intraembryonic vascular system through the blood stalk, and means platelets develop in that umbilical cord. So this process, parts will be occur in that part of placental development. And next, chorionic frandosum is occur in the part of chorionic villi. And residua basalis is fertilized ovum implanted with the residual portions. And next, combine of chorionic frandosum and residua basalis form as a placenta. The duration of 6th week to 12th week of gestation period, it will be taken to form as a placenta. And some villi are attached to residua deeply or called anchoring villi. And this anchoring villi, and placental circulation is established by 17th day. and placental circulations will be started that in the seventh day of fertilized ovum. And these are four layers are present between the maternal blood and fetal blood circulation. And there are four layers will be present in that placenta to protect that maternal blood and fetal blood circulations. And that four layers will see that outer in cytotrophoblast and the inner that cytotrophoblast and fetal connective tissues or mesenchyma, that is the middle layer. And then inner layer is another one, that is endothelium of fetal capillaries. It is lining of fetal blood vessels within the villi. So these four layers will be present to protect the placenta in between the fetus and maternal blood circulation. Since cytotrophoblast, fetal connective tissues or mesenchyma, endothelium of fetal capillaries, it's a lining of fetal blood vessels within the villi. And this is a little bit diagram of that, brief diagram about that forming the placenta and the implantation taken the blastocyst. And implanted blastocyst, after implanted that blastocyst, it is formed, it will be taken the trophoblast differentiation. Trophoplant, it is getting the difference that it is a cytotrophoblast and syncytotrophoblast. In the part of cytotrophoblast, it is forming the fetal surface of the placenta, and syncytotrophoblast, it is a maternal surface of the placenta. In the maternal surface of placenta and fetal surface maternal surface of placenta and fetal surface of placenta forming that extra embryonic mesoderm. We already saw that in the image. That is the extra embryonic mesoderm. This is that extra embryonic mesoderm. And next, this part only the forming the placenta part. And this in that extra embryonic mesoderm, it is forming as a chorea. And next, in syncytotrophoblast, forming the finger-like projections. In the finger-like projections only, it will be forming the primary chorionic villi. Finger-like projection forming the primary chorionic villi. So in that primary chorionic villi, part of cytotrophoblast and syncytotrophoblast. So in the syncytotrophoblast, it will be taken that start reshaping blood vessels. It is having the reshaping, means blood vessels shaping will be getting the difference. Then it will be increased supply of maternal blood to the placenta, means it will be having that lake-like maternal blood vessels. It is stagnated, will be present. So it absorb food, oxygen, and excrete waste nutritive villi. This all will be present in that part of which is present in the cytotrophoblast. And next, in primary chorionic villi, it is increased branch of the villi. It is having the increased branch of the villi, and it is a center part is mesoderm and it branches of umbilical vein and umbilical artery. It is in center part of the primary chorionic villi. It is a mesoderm that will be getting the branches of umbilical vein and umbilical artery. And the placenta start to functions and completely develop at 10th week after gestation. The placenta start to function and completely develop at 10th week of gestation. And next, during the time of first trimester, most of placenta development is occur. Here in that, during the time of first trimester, most of that, means in the 3 months of the durations occur in that most of the placenta development before the 10th week. And that is during this time the fetal organs are underdeveloped. Means when it is getting the development of placenta, that time fetal parts are getting the rudimentary form development. And later in pregnancy, fetal organs are matured, followed that liver to start a functions resulting in easier it to exchange of oxygens and carbon dioxide. Laterly in pregnancy, fetal organs are matured, followed that liver to start the functions. Means that second trimester, the fetal organs are matured and liver also start the functions resulting in easier into exchange of oxygens and carbon dioxide. And next, each stem villi and its branches are called that cotyledon. And that chronic villi will be there, no? That means form in the stem villi and its branches. We can say that cotyledon. It is having 15 to 20 cotyledon will be present in the placenta, and the number of cotyledon will not increase, but the individual cotyledon continue to grow till term of pregnancy. But individual cotyledon means it increase and it's not occur in the increased number of cotyledon, but it is the size of that cotyledon will be increased till the term of pregnancy. And this is the matured placenta, and this part is that primary mesoderm, this chorionic plate. And if you're seeing this basal plate, there's a basal plate, and this is uterine vein, uterine arteries, that is we can say spiral arteries, uterine vein and uterine arteries. And placental septum, this is chorionic villi, in between the placental septum will be there, and chorionic vessels, this is the chorionic vessels, blue and red will be there here. This is chorionic vessels, this is uterine vessels, blood vessels, this is the chorionic blood vessels. And this uterine vessels, we can see the spiral artery also. Here we can see that this is cytotrophoblast, in that this one is a cytotrophoblast, and this is chorionic leaf. That is a chorion layer will be the outer layer of the fetus that will be formed as chorionic leaf. And this uterine muscles, this is that decidua basalis. Decidua basalis, it will be attached with the skin, no? That is uterine muscles, that is a decidua basalis. This is uterine muscles fully. Decidua basalis, we can see that in decidua basalis attached with the uterine muscles, that is the middle layer, myometrium. The endometrium, that is the endometrium. And next, decidua parietalis, if you are seeing decidua parietalis and capsularis in the end of the part, in side part will be there, and that decidua parietalis lower part, and that in the side part would be having the parietalis. And next, here in that will be having this the tertiary stem villi. I forgot to say that tertiary stem villi, that is we can say tertiary stem villi. This chorionic villi part, it is having the tertiary stem villi. This is important thing. And umbilical vessels, it's having that umbilical vein. Umbilical vein carries that pure blood, and umbilical arteries carry the impure blood. This is umbilical vein. This is a mature placenta image.